Hello! Welcome back to Tech Ambrosia. Today, we're taking a look at Starfield, because I overpaid for it, and that means I get to play it a week ahead time. And we're going to run it on some GPUs it really should not be able to run on. So officially, the minimum specs for Starfield are a Ryzen 5 2600X and a Radeon 5700 non-XT, I believe. Or I think a 1070 Ti. So, one thing I do know is I have a 3080 in this machine, but I have an old version of Windows 10. I've got Windows 10 20H2, I think? So when I try and run Starfield, because of course the minimum spec for Starfield is like 21H1 or something, 21H2, it gives me the "your video card is under specifications" warning when I try and run it on this machine, which is hilarious since it's a 3080 and it should run it just fine. But we're going to look at stuff that's not a 3080 and is not a 6650 XT, and is in fact quite a bit slower. So let's take a look at what we got on the test bench. So on the test bench today, as you can see here, is of course my PCI Express test bench motherboard. It's an Asus A320MK. So for the CPU, we are under minimum spec. We've got a Ryzen 5 1600 non-X. So this thing supposedly tops out at 3.7 gigahertz. However, this is on an A320 board, so there's no PBO option. So the most I have seen this thing go is 3.4. So we've got 6 cores, 12 threads, Zen 1 architecture, 3.4 gigahertz. It's a ways under minimum spec. Once we get through a few video cards on this machine, I want to try something a little older. This is my FX system. This is running an FX 6350, or sorry, FX 6300. Here, I've got 16 gigs of DDR3, and yeah, we'll see just what this can do, if this can even run the game at all. We'll see. Alright, so this is the 5600 XT, 6 gigabyte. This was basically the champ on my $100 GPU video. And if we load into a game here, so I'm going to start in, I think this is the one, yeah, level 2. This is an interior area, and then we're going to hop outside and do some combat, and you can see like how it does during normal exploration. So it has an automatic thingamajig. Oh, that's why. Let's do the medium preset. So see what I mean? Like when you set the settings here, you can see the render resolution scale up there. Like even at ultra, it's only up at 75%. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think I'm doing medium with full resolution render scale. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm doing. But yeah, this is good. And I mean honestly, it's good. Like if you look at that frame time graph, like that's smoother than any Bethesda game I have played for a long time. Like it runs pretty darn well. It is a good looking game. It is very smooth. They have done a ton of optimization on this engine, honestly. Like to get that kind of a frame time graph, that is impressive. But yeah, so we have medium settings, no resolution scale, on a 5600 XT, we're getting about 50 FPS indoors. So we are going to hop outside. I'll show you what that looks like. This will just be our reference point. Outside we go. So we can see the surface of the planet, right? And so this is still Creation Engine, right? So you can't do these doors in Creation Engine unless this is already an exterior cell. So that's why we had the load screen between, we went to black with the ladder, right? So we went up the ladder, that actually loaded us into the exterior cell. Then this door can open immersively into the exterior of the planet because we're already on the outside. It's Creation Engine. It's all here. All that jank is still in this engine. It's kind of impressive. But yeah, like we're looking at 40, 41, 43, like mid 40s in combat, outside, exterior. Alright, so just because we're just looking at what this card can do. This is good. Remember, this is good. This is the baseline. We'll load in here. This is going to be in one of the main cities. So this does put a little stress on the 1600. Once you get into the cities, it loads up a whole lot of stuff in the render queue. So like the main thread kind of gets a little bogged down. So that's the part where this Ryzen 5 1600 non-X like starts to fall apart a little bit. But even then, we're seeing like, you know, we're still in the mid-40s here in the city. There are some areas where it starts to dip. I was just testing this before stream, just walking around the city, and I did see it go as low as like 28 FPS as it started to stream in additional people. But like, this is not bad at all. Look at that. Look at that frame time graph. What the heck? This really a Bethesda game? That's really a Bethesda game. So this is, you know, bookmark this one in your mind. 1080p medium, no res scale, around 45 FPS on a 5600 XT. This is what I would consider good. Anyway, let's hop out. And I will shut this thing down and we'll get the first janky graphics card in here. These little guys. I haven't actually tested these. I don't know if these work. I imagine they would, because I did test this. The Quadro P2000. This is basically a 1050 non-TI. It has 5 gigs of VRAM, but you know, it's like 1024 shaders or something. It's not a lot of Pascal shaders. And there's no power connector, so it runs off of slot power only. Maybe I should show you. Starfield runs on this. Let me show you. Hello, test bench.
Hey.
So we'll remove PCIe power. So we're looking at, you know, all DisplayPort all the time. So I need my, here it is, my HDMI to DisplayPort adapter. There we go. Quadro P2000. Plug in capture card. Good to go. David says, "Ah, playing Skyrim, I see." Yes, exactly. It's test 6, the Elder Space. The Elder Space 6. First, oh god. That was very jank for a moment there. Yeah, here we go. So we're having fun. This is 26 FPS. It's cinematic. It's cinematic. So now we're loading in through the exterior cell into this interior area. We hit the door that goes to the outside. And what does the outside look like? We go from 30 FPS to 28. And now we're outside, it's 25. So now we're pushing it. Now we're pushing it. This is not playable. This is too slow. You screwed with the wrong space lady. Alright, so let's put it in the city. I have not tested this. I have not seen what this does once you get into the city. There's no reason that this satisfies all of my Bethesda urges. I really love it. And that looks like crap. Look at how soft that is. I don't know if you can see this on stream, but like, this is not good. Frame time is fine. We're doing 30 FPS again, but this looks like a muddy, blurry mess. It's alright though. It's alright. Like frame time wise, it's fine. But yeah, it is muddy. It is muddy as heck. Okay, so that's like this is not terrible. This is very strange to me that this runs this well on a card that's this underpowered. So let's give it some challenges. Let's do the Radeon Pro. I have no idea if this is gonna work. I have no clue whatsoever if this is gonna work. There we go. Fire it up. It's just like, what is with that scaling? Windows what? Y'all see this? Look at this. What is with the scaling on this menu? What? What is it? Did you set this to like 4K and 300% scaling again because you're a terrible operating system? No. This is 100%. This is gonna screw up the rest of the game. I'm gonna try and reboot this machine real quick. See what it does. Okay, so we're at 29, 30 FPS. Thank you, Vasco. Please get out of my way. 29-ish FPS. So I open the door and 27 FPS. So we are definitely 25. Yeah. So we're definitely doing worse than the Quadro. That makes sense. Beyond like turning off some options, we'll see how we get with instead of doing FSR, we'll just do. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that looks terrible. That looks so bad. FSR is doing some heavy lifting there, apparently. Okay, so 900p with FSR2 still on. We are immediately, we've got a 10% boost. Okay, so we're at 34 on the interior. So if we go outside, does that drop us below 30? No. Kinda. Okay, so now we're at 29, 28, 29. It's not great. It's not great. I'm surprised it runs at all, honestly. I'm surprised it runs at all. That is some, I don't know if you can see that over the stream compression, but that is some awful looking render artifacts from FSR. What would our render resolution be? Like, we're 360p? Our internal render resolution at this point is 360p. We're now at 720p. We're at what the Quadro P2000 could do at 1080p, which is kind of sad. Anyway, let's blast this guy and see how this works. Yeah, so 28 FPS. I guess if you really need to work it to you know, play this game on a 2016 era workstation card, it does actually work. It's not a great experience. Zodium says, this is indeed shockingly playable. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Like, this is Creation Engine. It's Creation Engine 2. You know, it's the same engine that Bethesda's been dragging forwards in time since, like, I think, Elder Scrolls Redguard? I'm impressed with what they've done with it. I'm impressed. That looks like complete ass. Looks like complete garbage. We're getting a decent frame rate, but geez, that is like all render artifacts and nothing else. That is terrible. So, let's go even lower. This is my lowest? Yeah. I've got a Quadro P600. We're gonna try that one next. It's gonna be awful. WX 5100. Uh-oh. That's hot. It's a cheeky design. I kind of like it. Like, it's got two little heat pipes hidden in there. It needs them. We're going to chain the dongles. Mini DisplayPort to full-size DisplayPort. Full-size DisplayPort to HDMI for the capture card.
Illegal operation.
My stream's current bitrate is below the recommended bitrate. It's below that because there's nothing happening. We are launched into Starfield with the P600. This feels wrong. How is this working? How is this functioning? I do not understand. 26 FPS. 26 FPS. How is this even... What? Okay, let's go outside. How low do we go? 22, 21, 20. Okay, that's pretty bad. This is incredible. Just how low this thing will go. That's native 720p, by the way. 5 FPS on a Quadro P600. I think that is a GT 1010. 384 Pascal shaders, I think that's a GT 1010. Weird. Okay, well, we're at an hour and a half into the stream, so let's shift gears. Let's run the FX system and see if it'll play on FX. So we're gonna switch this this Ryzen 5 1600 non-X for an FX 6300. This ATX connector is the worst. There we go.
Put me down.
FX AM3 plus. The plus means it's good, right? RX 6400. This should be terrible. And we'll plug this SSD straight in, as if nothing changed. There we go. Oh, I didn't plug in the capture card. That's what I was missing. Get in there. Hello. Welcome to Amber's weekly rant about HDMI and how much she dislikes it as a connector. Oh, it's working! So in here, yep, there you go. FX 6300. So we are at essentially about half the performance per core that we were on that Ryzen 1600. So this should be great. Oh, I didn't check how much RAM is in this thing. Is this actually 16 gigs? It is, okay. Hopefully this will work. It loaded! It's running on FX! What? What the heck? Oh, this is so bad. Oh god, building shaders is gonna take so long. Oh no. Alright, so this is looking shockingly competent. Let's turn up some settings. Let's open the door and see what we get. $43 FPS. Walk outside. 43 FPS. Look at that CPU usage. 65, 75, 80%? Dang! I think this game uses like 3 threads, y'all. Maybe 4. That would be like, right? 75% of a 6-core would be like 4 threads. That's right. Bye-bye. Dip down to 30. But we're right back up to 40 again. We are well within the RX 6400's VRAM limit. Like, we're at 3.5 gigs. But we've got a really pretty stable frame time graph, which is bizarre. Let's go into the city and see how bad the FX does in the city. So we are in town. Frame rate is suffering. Our CPU is at 96%. I guess that seals it. It does use 6 threads at least, but geez, 100% CPU usage. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. So I think that's going to wind it up for today, for the stream. I'm also super surprised that it ran on the FX 6300. That's amazing. I really thought it would give us problems. And like I said, my machine here that you're looking at here, my 5800X3D with a 3080 12 gig, will not run this game. It launches and it gives me that error that says your graphics card does not meet the minimum specifications. Because I think I'm stuck on that old version of Windows 10. So, we've definitely clearly identified that as long as your Windows 10 version is up to date, you run this thing on pretty much anything. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming, and I will catch you in the next video, or stream, or something. Have a good night.